All right, welcome to the Educated Idiots Podcast here, live from Studio 60, our second attempt at video. Unofficially sponsored today, making a jump at the audience. You just scared like 10 people. Unofficially sponsored today by DirecTV, parenting children of middle-class America since 1995. I am Doug Wilkinson. To my left is Dan Hensing. We're the Bill and Ted of the excellent adventure that is our podcast. Say hello, Dan.
We should do that every episode. Hello, Dan.
All right, our first segment, we're going to jump right in. This is Need to Know featuring Dan and brought to you by Safeless Protection Pills. When you're using a Simmons mattress, trust your body with Safeless. Dan, what do we need to know?
First off, before we get started, notice the camera angle. It takes away, I know my angles.
You do know your angles.
So I know that because I watch America's Top Model. And then I also know other things, like, for example, buffalo. You're going to like this. The animal, not the town.
Okay.
Buffalo can run faster than horses.
Wow.
And they're kind of mean. And that kind of scares me.
Wow.
I know.
How did
See,
you
that's
come
the
to
kind
that
of stuff
knowledge?
you guys need to know.
Man.
Just telling you. Anyway, second time I've itched my nose. I don't have a problem. I don't do drugs. This is I got an itch. Someone's talking about me. But no,
You're not the Charlie Sheen of this duo?
No.
You're going to be okay.
But if you go through Yosemite Park?
National Park?
National Park, sure.
Yeah.
They have buffalo that come up to your car, get close.
Yeah.
Now I won't even get out. I won't get out and,
It's
hey, take a selfie with the buffalo.
Yeah. I was going to say, that would be the next step, is somebody trying to recreate that
Bison
magic.
to the lay people.
Well, that was my other thing, is what is the difference between a buffalo and a bison? Is there just the pluralization, or
I don't know.
that's too much?
We'll do that in
I feel like we need to get a resident stat and fact checker in here. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to check out the comments on our Facebook page, but my wife chimed in and gave us the history from the last couple episodes of the wife beater.
Oh.
Oh, man. She hit us with some knowledge. Check out our Facebook page. You're going to see on there, my wife, I mean, it's
knowledge.
It is. It's lengthy. It's meaty. It's a meaty historical grasp of how the wife beater became to be known as the wife beater.
Okay.
So there we go. All right, so that was Need to Know, brought to you by Safeless Protection Pills. When you're using a Simmons mattress, trust your body with Safeless. All right, I just love that every time you jump out, you probably scare me more than you're scaring the other people. But all right, our next segment, pet peeve time. It's me today. My pet peeve is people who won't let other people help them overcome their fear of ketchup.
Wow.
No, actually,
You
it's
went
not
there,
that. Yeah,
didn't
I
you?
did go there.
No,
I'm just kidding. Actually, it is food related though, and probably an unpopular opinion. I guess.
we
it
talk
depends on
about
the
that last
audience.
time, ketchup?
That was our last one. Was you
Okay.
ketchup? That's kind of the point of why I did that.
Yeah, I almost blacked out because I was talking about ketchup, so I had to make sure that that's what it was.
That was the previous episode. Episode 11
Ugh.
featured your fear of ketchup. Please tune into that if you haven't yet. All right, so here's mine for today. It's when people move slowly in buffet lines at restaurants, and I don't need them to go through like a NASCAR pit crew or anything like that. But real life example. I was eating today at Pizza Ranch, Rednecks of the World Unite, and my oldest daughter, we're there, a little daddy-daughter date, little combo action, wanted to take her out, have some fun. The woman in front of me spent a legitimate 3 minutes scooping up mashed potatoes and gravy. I mean, it was not like one and then the other, and her hands just were shaking so bad. I couldn't tell if she had Parkinson's or I did. I wasn't entirely sure, was that too far? But so maybe it's more, I don't know, maybe it's
was
spatial
she trying to
awareness.
make the perfect scoop?
No, it wasn't even an art form. Andy Warhol would not have painted that picture. It wasn't working. So maybe it's spatial awareness that people just aren't aware, but obviously this one at lunch today really made me aware of that.
I was at a buffet once, Pizza Ranch, same place. Love that. By the way, chicken, phenomenal, unofficial sponsor. I was there one time and I saw this guy, he's 550 pounds. Now, you're running 250 plus,
Yep.
being nice.
I
I'm running
appreciate
300 plus, okay. But think about this. This is a mammal, him and I combined.
Yeah.
550, he
It's a
was
large
large.
dude.
I was concerned about him because he had this cord going through his nose and he's pulling a tank. And I was like, what's going on there? Come to find out, he likes pepperoni with extra oxygen, which I didn't know that. But I was looking at him, and because he's so big and so huge, and I looked at his forearm, and on camera you can see my forearm right now.
That is
a
what that
freckled
is.
sleeve of forearm. But anyway, I looked down at his forearm, and it was cutting off his circulation. He had a bracelet on, and the bracelet said, "What would Jesus do?" He'd stop eating, maybe. I don't know. Maybe grab a salad on the way back to Bethlehem. I'm only speculating for Christ right now. All I'm saying is, I don't think that Jesus died on the cross so Shamu could hit round 5. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, I can say those things because I'm Catholic.
I was gonna say you're at least half. Right?
I'm 2/3 actually. Baptized First Communion. I never was confirmed because in 6th grade my mom decided to go to a different church. I think because it was closer to Dairy Queen. Linda likes her blizzards.
Linda.
So do I. Heath, extra Heath.
Extra Heath.
I
That's
love
you.
Extra Heath. But I've never had a Heath candy bar.
How has that happened? How did you
know.
stumble upon the Heath Blizzard?
I don't even know. I just the toffee was quite.
The toffee.
I don't know. If I finished someone else's off and I ate it, I'm like, what is this? But I've never bought a Heath bar.
Yeah,
I've never bought one, but I have cleaned a few out of the Halloween, bottom of the barrel, the kids aren't looking type situation. I've knocked a few of them back. But.
We've gone from, if we can do this, we went from ketchup to women with gravy to Shamu to Jesus.
You're welcome, guys.
To Dairy Queen and Heath bars and now Halloween. That's how we roll here. All right, so new segment time. We throw it back over to Dan here. What you got for us in the news world?
I read an article. I'll let that set in for just a second. Okay, I read.
Left to right, top to bottom.
It's not all for any headaches. Mine all for any cramps. Anyway, I read an article that said there's a restaurant out in New York, and they were struggling. And they've been around for quite a while. And in 2004, they had a film crew come in. Not a film crew, but like one of those monitor the people working there to see what was going on.
Oh, sure.
What I mean?
Yeah.
When that first, and they had kind of the old technology cameras, and they had 3 or 4 of them up, whatever. I'm not getting any technology because I really don't know it, but I was reading the article, and they were basically saying that the cameras were old.
Okay.
Now, fast forward 10 years, 2014, they went and looked at the same videotape, okay? And they basically took a section of time, and they showed, and they digitalized the other video, and they broke it down. And they said it was 45, tables, groups of people coming through. And in that 45 minutes, in 2004, the average took an hour and 6 minutes. It took them 6 minutes to get their, sit down and get their menus, appetizers, drinks. I mean, they broke down everything. It was kind of cool. 10 years later, that same people, it took an hour and 55 minutes. And they said, is it because of the service? That's what they want to know. Wasn't the service? Wasn't the cooks? You know what it was? People coming in nowadays in 2014, they want to take a picture of the stuff. They want to take selfies that they're at the restaurant. The food would come, they'd take pictures of it. They'd want the waiter to take pictures of them. Wow. Not all, but they said they gave a portion out of 45. It was a high number. And they basically said that cell phones and taking selfies and all that kind of garbage is the reason why this restaurant was failing. They're not failing, but struggling.
Maybe not doing as much business because instead of serving 2 tables in that 2 hours, you're only serving 1 versus a turnover rate much quicker.
And I go back to, I always say this, I don't really take a lot of photos. One, because I'd rather live in the now, but people are out of control. I don't know what's going on. People are taking way too many selfies. Every time I go by someone taking a selfie, I yell, Facebook, like that in the background, kind of trying to photobomb them audio.
The autobomb?
Yeah, the autobomb. That sounds like a German.
Is that Ted? Was that what Ted Kaczynski did, or is that a different thing? That's different. Google.
By the way, he was a very smart individual.
He was. Also
very dangerous.
Yeah, could have channeled that one differently.
Can you be more broad and less specific? Yeah,
sure. I have fought the urge to get a smartphone for the longest time. I just can't.
I say don't do it.
I don't want to. I just fear spending all the time. My wife has talked to me consistently about wanting to get one, and she's pointed out several times where it would have helped. It's hard to point out the times where it would hurt because you don't know. But everybody I talk to says stuff like that. Don't do it. It's going to be the collapse of humanity.
Yeah.
But I've heard you can't go back. I've heard once you're out there, baby.
And I'm loving it, Jerry. I'd like to go back to a flip phone because I have a big head. And I could flip it and it goes longer. A lot of people don't hear me. I've got a large head. They're not basing phone, the speaker picks up. No, it doesn't.
I wish they made phones for guys of our size.
Go to the video and look at my head. Tell me I can get a normal sized phone.
Yeah. I wish I have struggled with keypads. And you've seen me. I picked up texting. I like to text quickly.
You're amazing at texting, dude.
these thumbs know how to play. It's all those years of PlayStation. Thank you, Sony. But it's, it's kind of
Nintendo.
But yeah, it's like I just want bigger buttons, and I know that sounds awful because then I think of like my great grandmother who had the phone that had the buttons that were each like 3 inches, and it's like one and like dialing
Step
a
on
phone
them.
number. Yeah, it felt more like what's that movie Big, where they've got the keypad. We're
Tom
throwing a
Hanks.
lot of stuff to the young people that you just got to Google. I hope some of this stuff made
I like
it
how
through,
you're now old.
I am. I've hit it. I'm there. I started noticing the transition in my teaching style once I started having kids. Once I stopped looking at the kids across from me, I started looking at them differently. Like, oh man, I've got this. I just don't
They
want this
should
to
wear
be
a
mine.
hat and a sweater.
Yeah. You should pull your pants up above your knees. Like, that should happen. So, all right. Well, that's new. Restaurants, cell phones. I like it. All right. Audience feedback portion of things. This stems from our previous episode where we talked about conspiracy theories. On that list was the zombie apocalypse, and Ben in Waterloo said,
Hello.
how could you not believe in the zombie apocalypse? Have you never watched Walking Dead? Have you never read The Guide to Surviving a Zombie Apocalypse? Apparently a book.
Have you ever taken a science class?
World War Z is another example. I like how these are all media-based. Like, it's on the internet, it's true, people. Like, it's on TV, it's true. He goes, it's happening. So, for Ben in Waterloo, take it away.
Hey, Ben, Abe Lincoln, whatever he said on the internet, it's not true. No, I have a problem with it because they're dead. And if they did, say it is true. They walk slow towards you. You can't dodge them.
Not in World War Z, they don't. In World War Z, they run.
I don't watch movies.
I saw that one, and I read the book, which was
My life
actually
is
way
based
worse.
out of realism.
Yeah, no, heaven for... I've escaped that a little bit. But continue, I cut you off. They move slowly.
It's dumb. I got nothing else. It's just not even, I don't understand how, hey, we died, but then you come back to life.
Yeah.
Have you not been to, like, seeing a decaying body in a morgue or something? I haven't.
I mean, I haven't.
I'm speculating in my mind what it'd be like.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, hey,
I've watched a lot of
I bet
CSI.
they're about ready to start living again, walking around.
I mean...
Okay, let me ask you this. What makes a zombie come back to life? I don't know. I'm asking you.
I think it's the disease. I think that's what there's some type of part of the disease that then reanimates them as like this fleshy
I'm trying to
corpse.
avoid AIDS right now, the way it is. I don't need to avoid zombie disease.
Spend a lot of time with monkeys? Is that kind of an issue? Keep you
Flying.
away from the zoo from time to time? Oh,
Mountains.
little Wizard of Oz there, okay. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, here's my thing with the media side of the zombie stuff. I just don't know how they keep getting surprised. You're living in a zombie world where anything around you, and yet it's like, you could be surprised by anything. It's like, don't you have your radar on? Like, looking for that?
So can zombie dogs come back to life?
Walking Dead does nothing with pets. I actually read an article, I do read on occasion, I read an article where the creator of it, who's only like 2 or 3 years older than I am, he's in his mid-30s, way wealthier than either of us could probably ever dream to be.
No, I'm
But
very
there's no pets on the show because he couldn't, it started as a comic book and he didn't draw animals well. So he just left that whole snippet of it out of it.
Oh,
Just
so
said, we won't even worry about
that
pets.
really gives that zombie thing some
cred.
Yeah. Well,
Ben in Waterloo, I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
hey Ben, I can't draw trees real well.
We're just gonna cut.
We're gonna cut trees out of the
equation
afterlife too.
So I don't know. I mean, I've watched a lot of these things. Yeah, I don't know, but there's a lot. There's a firm coalition of zombie supporters out there. So may they be bitten first. All right, I want to thank y'all for listening in. Get hold of us on social media whenever you have the opportunity to.
Once bitten, twice shy.
Oh, nice song.
We
got the illusions
flaring
all
at
over
the end.
the place. You can catch us at the Education, the Idiots Email Podcast, idiotseducated@gmail.com. I'm Doug. That's Dan, Educated Idiots Podcast.
Bye-bye.